Hey guys, welcome back to the Detroit Garage. We pulled the camshaft out of the engine on the last video. I've dropped it off at the machine shop. With any luck, they'll be able to repair it and it'll be like new again. So now we've got to pull the balance shaft out and give that a good look over, and then clean out the balance shaft and the camshaft pockets. Make sure they're nice and clean. And then order up the parts. All right, well, I'm trying to get this bolt off so I can clean this hub up and put a pulley on it so it'll drive a fan. It's proving to be challenging, so I had to bring out the big guns. There. 3/4 inch breaker bar. So what I'm gonna do to pull this pump off and clean this up so I can put a new sleeve on there and a new seal and make sure it doesn't leak. You know, although this engine has no hours on it, sitting out like that for years, the seal's probably hardened up and it's gonna leak. So I'm just going to preempt that and pull the housing, have a look at the pump and make sure that's all good, and then put new seals back on it and she's good to go. Yeah, this engine is as nice, or actually better condition than my my Silver Series I just put on the dyno and rebuilt. It's in nicer shape. So I'm very happy it got a new home, and we're gonna make it good again. It's nothing better than seeing a piece of equipment with a Detroit in it. That's really nice. And then I can have a good look at the pump. Make sure the pump is all good. All right. So I got to break the sealant loose. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got some oil coming out. If the pump isn't any good, yeah, if the pump's no good, there's no use, you know, repairing it if it's got a bad pump. So I'll wash that out in the parts washer, and it looks like it's in pretty nice shape, but I'll pull the pump and make sure. All right, so I'm gonna pull that sleeve, put a brand new one on, and not punch it up right against the gear here. So here's the pump. they push the seal in all the way to the edge. I'll have to check the manual. I can't remember now, but I'll look at another one. So we're going to pull the pump off, just make sure it's in good shape, and then clean up the housing. So really nice shape. There's no rust, no staining. A little bit of staining there, but nothing really. Yeah, very happy with that. Gears are nice and tight. There's no play. Beautiful. All right. So like everything else on this engine, it's like brand new. So the book says the minimum clearance between these lobes is 3 thousandths to 11 thousandths. And that's a 3 thousandths feeler gauge. And it's perfect. So very nice indeed. It just fits nice and snug. So that's like a brand new pump. So very happy with that. The pump in my truck was right around 11 thousandths, and I reused it anyway, but this one's like brand new. So put some oil in here, flip it up, and then torque down the bolts. There, very nice. And then up is right hand. So up, right hand. So right hand rotation engine, pump goes up. Somebody asked me that in the comments. Okay, book says 23 Newton meters. I think that's about 12 to 15 foot-pounds. But this gauge is in Newton meters, so make sure the gear still moves. There, beautiful. Okay. Okay, now go clean off the front of the engine. Well, there's quite a bit of crap in here, so I'm going to pull this cover off as well. It only takes a minute, so why not? Like I said, I've ordered up a whole, I will be ordering a whole gasket set. So that's why I wanted to remove that front plate. It's got a lot of debris in there, so that we gotta get rid of that. So wash this up and see. You can't have that running through your oil system. All right, well, I keep finding more debris. So in order to guarantee this engine doesn't have any debris in the oil passages or in the air box or anything, basically I'm gonna strip the block. I just can't rest easy knowing that maybe some stuff got through those galleries into the main artery, into the main oil gallery, because it can come in from the top. Unlikely, but there is a chance. So it only takes a few bits to wipe out the bearings and everything else in this engine. So while it's here, I might as well pull the crank out. We'll pull the rods out anyway, and then pull the crank out, take the oil cooler off, and then pressure wash the air box and everything. Clean it all up. Otherwise, I'd always be worried, you know, is there something left in that oil passage, or is there debris floating around I don't know about? And a few months later, the engine's wiped out. So it only takes a few more minutes to pull everything off, so I might as well do that, pressure wash the block, just like I did with the silver here, and yeah, get it cleaned out right. I just keep getting stuff. Every time I go to clean something, there's more debris. So being this sat out in a field for God knows how many years, at least a decade, there's a lot of debris in it. So bear with me, I'm gonna strip everything off. I don't want to, but I pretty much have to. Even the process of cleaning it, maybe, you know, these are all oil passages to the main crank. If something gets in there, wow, it's nasty. So I could pull the crank out, clean everything up really nice, and then I'm rest assured there's no debris in this engine. Okay, I'll take the filters off, and then I'll bring it back when all the filters are off. And then we'll pull the blower and the oil cooler off, punch those pistons out, and then pull the crank, and then we're good to go. Yeah, it's gone from a cleanup to a full teardown. But honestly, that's the only way I can sleep at night. Otherwise, I'd always be guessing, you know. I should just rename this video Teardown. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I mean, even though I blasted out the air box with air and everything else, there's still some debris in it, you know. And if that stuff gets in your liners and pistons, it's game over. And there's even a slim chance there's debris in the oil cooler, in the cooling fins as well. So I just want to rule that out and then have to sleep at night. Alright. Yeah, okay. See, this is hard to say, but we're going to wash this out, clean it all up and wash it out, and then we're good to go. 1970. So I'll unclamp the liners. When it's finished, it'll run like a brand new engine. The pistons in it are like brand new. I'm just going to put brand new rings back in it, 2 new liners, and one liner has 10,000 miles on it out of my F350. So yeah, we'll do that. I'm treating it like it's my own engine, so that way I don't have to worry about it. So just pull the cap off and then push the liner out. So look how nice those bearings are. They're like brand new. So we're just gonna push this liner out. We've got the little brass plug in there. There, easy as that. There. Beautiful. So you can see the pistons are like brand new, everything. But now that it's all apart, I'll pull the crank out of it now, and then I'll pressure wash the block, make sure it's nice and clean, and then I know there's no debris in it. So especially the air box as well, you know. Let's get a light on this subject, shall we? Although it's pretty clean, there could be some sand, debris, and I just don't want any of that stuff in the oil system. So we'll flip it upside down and we'll pull the crank out of it, and then I'll pressure wash it next. Same as the silver. I did the exact same thing to that, and it's running beautifully. Good look at the crank. We'll pull all the caps, pull the crank right out. Just crazy. Just like a brand new engine. Well, that bearing has a bit of wear. So the rear main has a little bit of wear on it. So I'm gonna order one shell for it. One shell set. So the rear main journal has a bit of staining on it. I'll polish that. And there's one tiny stain here. It's not pitted, just stained. So I'll pull the crank out next and then wash it up and polish this up a little bit. Order a new bearing for that one. And we're good to go. Yeah, a bit of debris went through this bearing at some point in its life. Anyway, I'll order one new shell set, but the rest are in really nice shape. So the engine is 1969. We'll see what that bearing says. So May of 1999, somewhere around there, maybe in 2000 it was rebuilt. I mean, that bearing's usable, but I'm just gonna replace it. But the rest are like new. Well, there you have it, guys. That's dismantling the 353. We had to pull it apart. I just can't rest easy with not knowing it's not clean, you know. So we tore it right down, and then I'll get my pressure washer out, and tomorrow pressure wash it, clean up all the parts, and tonight I'll order all the parts through PC Industries, and yeah, happy times. And the Silver Series, we're going to order up some big injector tips for it. So it's running really nice with the 100s, but it could use 10% more fuel. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to order up a set of, they're essentially 145cc injector tips. They're used in the 145 plunger and barrel, but in order to upgrade those injectors, they take that tip. So I'm going to order up new tips and a higher pressure spring to atomize the fuel a little bit better, and I think I'll get a clean burn and maybe 300 horse. So stay tuned for that. We're just going to order all this in one big order, and then when I go down and pick it up, I'll have those injectors. So again, guys, thanks for checking in, and catch you on the next video. Take care.